Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally made it to draft day. Congratulations to all of you. We're here. We are indeed here. Farzy Vasugan here with you on this Thursday night. It is draft night. Appreciate you all joining me for this pre-draft live stream as we are getting closer and closer to the Raiders being on the clock. I wonder who they will pick. Place your bets now. All right. How are you guys feeling? Talk to me. I mean, it's been months and months of speculation, and there's only so much you can really talk about what you think the Chiefs are going to do at 9 or 29. Will they trade? Will up or down? Will they stay there? Will they get a player? What are they going to do? We've been talking about all of these different scenarios for months now, and we're finally here. And in 51 minutes, we'll find out. Well, we'll start at least. Yeah, so the big news that's come out in the last hour, a little over an hour ago, is George Pickens signed his franchise tag. And a lot of people are speculating as to what that means. And I've seen a lot of people connect George Pickens to the Kansas City Chiefs. Look, I have no problem with the Chiefs going to get George Pickens, but here's one thing I'm concerned about. If the Chiefs do that, you're not only giving up a first-round draft pick to acquire him and possibly more. The concern then becomes, you got to pay him as well. And I think that's going to be a big slap in the face of Rashee Rice to where he might not want to be a part of this football team. He's going to say, wait a minute, you guys are willing to pay him, but not me? And I could be wrong on this. But this is, I don't think he's going to Kansas City. I think Kansas City wants to get some young, new blood, fresh guys to bring to this football team. Jeff says that if you can trade up to get Bailey, do it. If not, trade back and get Sadiq. See, let me just say this, and let me know if you guys agree or disagree. And I know we're all prisoners of the moment with these kinds of things, but I'm just thinking back. Has there ever been an NFL draft where you truly do not know who's going to go 2 through 10? Usually you have a pretty good idea what's going to happen at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The week of the draft, it feels like the universe has a good idea as to what the first 5 picks might look like. We know what's going to happen. Number one, no one here is betting against Fernando Mendoza going to the Raiders unless in the next 49 minutes he does something stupid or a video of him smoking a bong comes out right before the Raiders are on the clock. So he is going number 1 overall. Number 2, I have no idea what's going to happen right after that. That is where things get really interesting. And with these PFF mock draft simulators, we've seen so many different scenarios, whether it's PFF, any of these other mock drafts. We just don't know. The Jets have every reason to want to get a guy like Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles or Jeremiah Love. We've seen some project David Bailey as the 2nd overall pick. Francis Mauigoa has been projected to go in the top 5, even top 3. So this is it just feels like a really unpredictable top 10. And if you guys are asking me for my prediction, what I think will happen, I think it's between Ruben Bain Jr. and Jordan Tyson. I know there's this big knock on Ruben Bain Jr. with the arm length, which has been talked about for several months now, as well as the off-the-field incidents. We don't know how big of a knock that is against him from a team side of things, because apparently they were aware of this. But it really feels like in every mock draft, he's gone by the time the Chiefs are on the clock. Now, there are some mock drafts that are projecting Ruben Bain Jr. to go to the Chiefs. I just saw Nick Wright's. He has Ruben Bain Jr. going to the Chiefs at number 9. If I had to bet on it, I don't think Ruben Bain Jr. is going to be there at 9. I don't think David Bailey will be there. Carnell Tate, I don't think is going to be there either. And in the last 7 days, it feels like there have been a lot of rumors and reports that the Chiefs are connected to Jordan Tyson. I know the national media is very fixated on the Chiefs getting an offensive lineman. I'm not writing off the possibility of an offensive lineman coming to Kansas City. If the edge guys that we all talked about, Reese, Bailey, and Bain, if they're all gone, if Carnell Tate and Jordan Tyson are gone, I've seen some mock drafts say Jordan Tyson might get selected before Kansas City. If those 5 players, the 3 main edge rushers and the 2 main wide receivers, if they're all gone, I could see them debating between Mansour Delane and Francis Mauigoa. I hope it's not Spencer Fano. I'm not too big on taking him at 9. So we'll see. Jonas says we should stick at 9, try to get Bain. Sean says 2018. I think he meant 2017. We didn't know the Chiefs would trade up to get Mahomes. No. There was some speculation before the draft started that the Chiefs would trade up, but we weren't quite sure what exactly for. Ended up being Patrick Mahomes, obviously. I don't think the Chiefs make a pick at 9. They either move up or down. There has been some reports earlier today about the Chiefs trying to move around and trying to move up to see. I apologize. I'm just getting all these updates here. Trying to move up to get the Ohio State linebacker, Arvell Reese. Hold on. Roger Goodell's talking.
What these matters involve it. Why, in your words, does the NFL's media distribution
Roger Goodell says that all the games are very accessible, even though they're being under investigation for having so many different streaming partners. What do you think about George Pickens possibly being traded? Yeah, he might get traded. It sounds like it, but I don't think it's going to be to Kansas City, because Kansas City would be giving up a lot. You'd be giving up some draft capital, and then you'd have to pay a lot of money on top of that. So I don't think that's happening. Who would be your first pick if you are picking the first pick for the Chiefs? Ruben Bain Jr., followed by Jordan Tyson. I'm wearing my Derek Thomas jersey tonight, and my daughter is wearing Big Creed. I love it. That's awesome, Brandon. Have my Kelsey hoodie on, ordering Chinese. We're talking about what they're wearing, what they're eating tonight. Okay, all right, we're at that stage now. Yeah, Susan, I think that's been the complaint over the last few years is that the Chiefs are picking late in the draft. They're either picking last or second to last, third to last, or fourth to last each of the last 7 years. Now you've got a top 10 pick. So I'm eager to see what the Chiefs are going to do. Has Greeny asked one question about this Mike Vrabel thing? About whether or not there was maybe tampering going on? Like, ESPN has been ho-hum about this. Oh, hold on. He did ask a question about Mike Vrabel. Wow, I'm actually shocked by that. Hold on. Let me hear this.
We're going to play this season. About the situation with Mike Vrabel and the Patriots, he has announced that he will not be with the team on Saturday. He'll be instead with his family and plans to seek counseling.
Can you guys hear this?
I've suggested this is not a violation of the personal conduct policy. I want to make sure that I'm getting that exactly right. So, as of this point, based upon what you right now, this does not feel like a situation for the league to become. No, this is not a.
Oh, you guys can hear it. Okay. Okay, so he says it's a personal matter and they don't feel the need to look into that. How do you know? See, here's my thing. Like, I'm not here to tell you that cheating and having an affair is horrible. You guys don't need me for that. But how do we know whether or not Dianna Russini, if she did not take information from the Chiefs or the Jets or the Bills or the Eagles, whoever, and just ran it straight to Vrabel? And by the way, yeah, Vrabel missing day 3 of the draft. The days 1 and 2 of the draft are more important than the family, but day 3, no, the family's more important than day 3. And by the way, don't give me this bullshit of, oh, maybe a counselor was not available until Saturday. He's Mike Vrabel, okay? If Mike Vrabel, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, anyone of that caliber needed counseling, they are getting that in 4 seconds. So I don't want any excuses about when this shit happened. And then on top of that, how do we not know that she was not feeding him information? That's what I want to know. And the NFL's not going to investigate that? Yeah, Patriots fans are blaming Tennessee for letting those pictures out. Patriots fans are crumbling. They thought when Vrabel took accountability in that press conference, where it wasn't really a press conference, that was just him talking. They thought that was accountability. And they were like, okay, let the story go away. Dude, I hate to say it. This story has taken a really dark turn because those 2020 pictures that came out, they were in March, right before COVID really, like, basically when things, the shutdown started to happen in America. People are kind of monitoring that, and they're noticing that was 7 or 8 months before her son was born. And the son's name is the same as Vrabel. Oh boy. Time to take a paternity test. Go to Maury. Yeah. Mary says, here's a big picture. If a football player does this, they would either be cut or suspended. I don't know if he would be cut or suspended. Because again, I don't know what rule you're violating. Like, I don't think there's a rule from the NFL that, hey, you cannot have a relationship with a reporter. I don't think that's a rule. Now, from a journalistic standpoint, yeah, you are violating a lot of journalism ethics there. If you work for any publication, the Kansas City Star, any of these places, and you have some sort of a connection to a player, a coach, whoever, you could be violating some terms there. Now, some of you guys might be asking, what about several years ago when Casey McDonald, she was in a relationship with a Chiefs quarterback, Aaron Murray at the time, and then Eric Hosmer? Yes, but she was not a sports reporter. She wasn't covering the Royals or the Chiefs. I think she was just a traffic reporter and an anchor for Channel 41. She wasn't covering the team necessarily. So there wasn't a situation. If she was a sports reporter covering the team, it would be a different story here. Vrabel, what COVID? Yeah. The only social distancing Vrabel was doing in 2020 was social distancing from his wife. That's what he was doing. To hell with the Patriots fan. Everyone I know is a rage baiter. Yeah, I don't know. Samuel says it's not looking good for Vrabel. He was in the Super Bowl this year. Listen, it helps that they won a lot of games and went to the Super Bowl this year after back-to-back 4-win seasons. I mean, now, these new photos, it's not a good look. It's just not. And again, I'm going to keep pressing the question. How do we know whether or not Dianna Russini wasn't getting information and rather than reporting it objectively, didn't just run straight to Vrabel and give that information? I would bet my house that she did that. I mean, let's not sit here and defend either one, because I'm seeing some people do so. Like Dianna Russini publicly going out there saying, oh, this was a girls' trip. Sure. And for people who are like, oh, this is their business, why should we care? Because Vrabel, of all people, criticize one of his players for a Bible verse that was speaking against LGBT. Now, I'm not here to debate about LGBT. Should you be for it or against it? That I don't care. But Vrabel did say that he needed to be more educated on his faith. And you did that publicly. That's that person's business, and you spoke about it publicly. Mike Vrabel, by the way, has signs across the Patriots facility that say, make good decisions on and off the field. And he made a bad decision that has turned into a distraction. I don't care how much you think this should not be talked about. I'm not the one that creates the stories here. This is the NFL draft, and the biggest story right now in the NFL is not related to the draft. Now, maybe for the next 3 hours, that could be put to the wayside, but tomorrow morning, this is not going away. And I feel bad for any Patriots, for any player that becomes a member of the Patriots, because this whole moment, their dream coming true of being an NFL player, is going to get overshadowed by this. So yeah, sucks to be in those. Look, if you're Vrabel and Rossini, you have to take this on the chin. You have to stand there and take this verbal beating. You earned it. You flat out earned it. Ty Simpson was offered. There's an offered $6 million to go to Miami. How do you offer that now? Yeah, Vrabel's apparently supposed to speak any moment. Timing of that, it could not have been better. I honestly think she quit trying to sweep this under the rug. Yeah. And for her to, I know that was a resignation letter, but she's also used it as a public statement. For her to basically be like, hey, you're lying. You don't know what you're talking about. Here are two things that people do not like. One, they don't like hypocrisy. And number two, people do not like to be called liars when what they're saying is true. And both of those are on display right now. I mean, Vrabel's basically put his hands up and is like, yo, you got me. Sorry, Diana, I can't lie about this anymore. We'll see. Do you stand by your mock draft for the Chiefs? Yeah, I mean, it's a mock draft at the end of the day. So, yeah, I'm standing by it. We'll see. Is it going to be true? Probably not. Find me one mock draft that is true. The reason I'm going with Jordan Tyson, I think it's going to be Ruben Bain Jr. or Jordan Tyson. I think it's one of those two guys, like I said earlier today. But I think it's going to be Tyson because I don't think Ruben Bain Jr. is going to be there at 9. I think there are 3 teams that will want to take an edge rusher before the Chiefs. And I think Jordan Tyson, his name has been heavily connected to the Chiefs in recent days. The only way you're getting an edge rusher is if you trade up. Otherwise, I think Kansas City would have to wait until later in the first round, whether they stand pat at 29 or trade up, because there will be a second wave of edge rushers that will go later today. The first wave obviously is going to include Reese, Bain, and Bailey. But later on in the draft, you're going to have guys like Keldrick Falk, Akeem Mesidor, Cassius Howell, TJ Parker, Zion Young, Mason Thomas. Zion Young and Mason Thomas, it's a little bit of a toss-up. They could go late in the first round, or they might go early tomorrow in the second round. So I think the second wave of edge rushers can be anywhere from the 20s to 40 tomorrow, which is where the Chiefs pick in the second round, for right now at least. Are you pissed if they move up? I wouldn't be pissed per se. I'm a little concerned about the asking price. Look, we complained before the Trent McDuffie trade that this team did not have a lot of draft capital. Now they have 9 draft picks. Look, let me just say this. It's not the end of the world if you don't get Reese, Bain, or Bailey, but your defensive line desperately needs help. So if you want to trade up because you think one of those 3 guys I mentioned can be the next Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Max Crosby, I'm not going to argue with that. Go for it. Might cost you an arm and a leg. That's the concern from me, but this defensive line needs it right now. So I'm eager to listen. We've been speculating for months, and I'm eager to see it finally come to an end in hopefully 2 hours. Like a solid day of counseling to fix things. Yeah, Susan, I think we're supposed to expect a lot of trades today. That's the expectation going on, but we'll see. How do you feel if they trade out of the top 10? I'm not against it. To go back to Brandon's question about moving up, and your question about moving down, I'm not opposed, but here's my pushback. Haven't we all been complaining over the last 7 years that the Chiefs are picking either last, second to last, third to last, or fourth to last? And now they've got a top 10 pick. Like, again, if you think you can get the next Myles Garrett, if you think you can get the next Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I recognize there are great players that get selected outside of the first round, like a Puka Nacua, but get the guy you think is going to make a difference for you. And I'm really hoping that it will be Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, Ruben Bain Jr., David Bailey, one of those 4 guys. Realistically, I think one of those 4 might be available. I don't think Bailey will be available. Bain is a maybe. Carnell Tate, maybe. I'm leaning towards no on both of those 2. I think there is a very good chance Jordan Tyson's available at 9. And if he's not there somehow, I'm not against Francis Maui-Noa. I know a lot of people are against right tackle. I'm personally not. Maybe today, April the 23rd, right tackle sounds like the least exciting move you could make outside of quarterback, punter, and kicker. But in September and October, right tackle might look like a very good move. I'll put it that way. And for those of you that are on the fence about right tackle or are anti-right tackle, I hope maybe I've convinced you guys a little bit. If the Chiefs go that route, that is. I think the best case for the Chiefs is if Love is there and the Cowboys want him. Yeah, see, a lot of people are saying this. I don't think Jeremiah Love's going to be there. I've been saying this since the very beginning. As exciting as it was to play fantasy football about Mahomes and Love and all that stuff, the Kenneth Walker thing kind of put an end to it. But even if they didn't get Kenneth Walker, I don't think you were going to get Love to fall the 9 anyway. But somehow, some way, if that works in your favor, yeah, I think Kansas City better say, hey, we've got the number 9 pick. Who wants it? Amon says Chiefs will move up to get Reese. You heard it here first. Samuel's asking, which team do you think makes a trade in the draft first to trade down? Arizona sounds like the popular candidate based on reports to move up. It sounds like Dallas is very eager to move up. So if I had to make a guess, Arizona and Dallas, I think, are the 2 teams that will make a trade. The first to make a trade. Sorry, my just checking my security cameras for a second here because I don't know what's going on. My neighbor's kids are run around really loudly. Usually you can't hear outside noise, but now it's pretty loud. Do you think the Browns will try to trade Myles Garrett after unanimously winning Defensive Player of the Year and all that money they just gave him? I doubt it. I mean, what do they have outside of him? If they don't have him, they might go winless. How concerned are you about the health of Jordan Tyson? Oh, certainly concerned. I mean, you can't sit here and not say that you're not concerned about it. It's definitely concerned, Jonas. Here's my glass half full on Jordan Tyson and his availability. If Jordan Tyson gets drafted to the Chiefs, he's joining a football team that has Rashee Rice, who the Chiefs really like. And I say that because he had 78 targets last year in 8 games. You have Xavier Worthy, who I know the Chiefs are still very high on. You have Tyquan Thornton, who you just paid. You didn't pay him Jackson Smith and Jigba type of money, but you certainly paid him more to where you're proving, okay, we're going to utilize him more. Jalen Royals, I think, is going to be used a little more. So Jordan Tyson is not going to be drafted by a Chiefs team that has no wide receivers whatsoever. He can be gradually put into a top tier role later on. Jordan Tyson can have 10 catches the first game. Second game, that could be Rashee Rice. And then the next game, that might be Tyquan Thornton. Now, I said that a year ago, too, about Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, and Rashee Rice, and I still believe that's a good receiving core that any quarterback would love to have. I just hope that the Chiefs, with Eric Bieniemy back, with Chad O'Shea as now your wide receivers coach, with sorry, I thought my stream froze for a second. With Kenneth Walker now part of your offense, and we know a good running game opens up the passing game. That's going to make a really big difference for the wide receivers. And I hope that fixes a lot of the issues that we saw in the passing game last year. The drops, the route running, separation from man coverage, the lack of connecting down the field between Mahomes and the receivers. Those things have got to get fixed. Are there people in the stadium? Why would you be in the stadium when the show is outside? That doesn't make any sense. Mike Vrabel is talking right now. Pull up a chair, ladies and gentlemen, because this is reality TV. Let's see. I'm on YouTube. Oh, there's me on YouTube. Thanks, YouTube, for featuring me on the front page of everyone's news feed or whatever you want to call it. No one is live streaming this. Oh, come on. What are you doing, Boston media? Okay, I'll rate it later. It's not a big deal, but it's kind of funny. I mean, oh, there it is. Okay, hold up.
Far away.
He looks nervous.
I appreciate it. I just want to reiterate
The audio's
the
awful.
gratitude that I have the other day to what you guys have shown in a personal and private matter. I want to address the news regarding my current situation. I understand that there are questions, but I take accountability for my actions and the actions that caused a distraction to the people that I care most about. My family, football team, the organization, and our fans.
I mean, that right there is basically him saying, look, stop defending me. Stop saying this is a personal matter. He's even saying it impacts the team.
You know, my previous actions don't meet the standard that I hold myself to. They don't. What I believe is best for the two most important things in my life, my family and this football team, is for us to take the necessary steps to work together and to give them what I told them I'd give them, which is the best version of me. And that's what we're going to do. And that's going to start. That has started. That'll continue this weekend, and it'll continue for however long it takes for me to give them and to complete that promise of giving them the best.
Okay, I don't want a sob story.
That's what's going to happen, and that's what's been happening. That will allow us to coach them, and I appreciate their support. And we got great men in there, and in that order. And there's a balance there. That's just what I'll be. But I'm confident in the people that we have, those players that we bring onto this football, and out of respect to my family. I won't have any more comments or answers to touch on. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
What made Saturday the best time to step away other than the time later?
He just awkwardly stood and looked at the media. Listen, the first question is really good and I want to hear it, but I mean, he's basically saying, hey, I got to eat shit right now. Someone's going to clip that and post it. I know it. But he says it's not the standard he holds himself to. Bro, this wasn't like a one night thing. This was going on for years. We're talking years. And listen, I'm not suggesting that this was right at all. But if you're even going to do this, shouldn't you at least be in private? Like, they're at a bar. They're at a casino. Like, even if there was no hand holding publicly at the casino floor, which TMZ recently got their hands on, more photos are coming. We know it. Dude, someone's going to do it during the draft, which is going to be, that's going to be shitty, but oh well. But here's my thing. This wasn't like, oh, I did one shitty thing. This was going on for years.
Well, when you prioritize your family first, and your job, that's what's required, and that's what was necessary. Got a lot of support from everybody involved, and so that's what I was able to do, and willingly, and I want to do that, and that's important to me. But there's also a balance there. There's
Okay, so this is not live. There's 3 minutes left in this press conference. Someone in the media better ask, did you ever receive exclusive information from Diane? That's what I want to know.
Needs me, I'll be there, and I know that, and also and get what I need.
I'm skipping forward through. Like, I don't.
I'm sorry, Karen. You anticipate missing any? I'm sorry, Karen.
Yeah, that's all. Do I anticipate missing?
Missing any of the football activities in the coming weeks?
And I can't answer that. I can only say that whatever my family needs, that's what I'm going to provide. But I also understand what's needed for me here. This is an exciting time. We just finished our first week.
So exciting! You have a frown on your
We're
face.
excited to the team, and I'm confident that we have people in support. I just know that I'm going to.
Mike, it was reported that even though you would be away from the team on Saturday, tending to family business, you would still be in communication with the team. Can you explain that, or what?
Well, I mean, I'll obviously try to be to communicate with.
What kind of a question is that?
Ryan.
I'm sorry, man. Like, I used to be in the media, but some people just ask the dumbest questions. Will you still be No, he's made it clear he's stepping away to do family counseling.
Robert, if
Like, there are way more bigger questions that need to be asked.
and whatever they need, everybody's done, and his staff, and I'm confident that gens are going to enjoy watching. And I have
Yourself to the guys that were in this locker room last year.
I
Yourself to the guys that were in this.
I have to make.
Over just the last 2.5 weeks, we go from your original statement about, any insinuation that the photos were anything other than innocent was laughable, to your comments Tuesday, to now deciding to go to counseling. What is that process?
Well, that's a private and personal matter. I don't think that those comments. I think that was always an attempt to protect your family, and I would never be dismissive. But I think my family and this football team are the most important thing, and that's what I plan to do. And I'm excited about both of those things. Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, he just took off after like 4 questions. Yeah, see, I want to know if he was getting exclusive information. And if he's obviously going to say no, but why should we believe that? That's what should have been asked. Yeah, those are some bad questions. Dude sounds sad he had to go back to the wife. That's fucked up. It's kind of true. I mean, listen, I get it. Like, this is an organization, even though the Patriots are not what they were from the Brady era, but for now, they're the reigning AFC champions. I mean, they rebuilt faster than they rebuilt faster than the Raiders, the Browns, teams that constantly have a top 10 pick. And, I mean, is it a bigger story because he just won Coach of the Year? Probably. And I've said for a long time, like, dude, I would have loved to have a guy like Mike Vrabel on the team. Now, oof. Listen, I was the same guy who said that I want Deshaun Watson. Glad that didn't go the way it did. So, listen, I still have my questions. The fact that the NFL is being very protective of this and not wanting to look into that, I mean, that's just nonsense. But that's par for the course for the NFL. So that's not surprising at all. But we'll see. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Appreciate you guys joining me, reacting to all of these things here. So here's the deal. Here's how it's gonna work. I'm gonna get out of here. And whenever the Chiefs make their selection, whether it's at 9 or they trade up or trade down, I don't know. Whenever the Chiefs make their first pick in the span of like 2 or 3 minutes, we will be back on here and we will react to the pick. And I'll have the link for you guys to call in. I want to hear from every single one of you guys tonight, calling in, commenting, all of that stuff. So come back whenever the Chiefs make their pick and we will go live. And I'm excited. I don't know who it's going to be. I mean, I've made my prediction. I think it's going to be Jordan Tyson. If Bain is not there, if Bain's available, then I think it's Bain. If Carnell Tate's available, I think the Chiefs would take Carnell Tate over Bain, but we don't know. We'll find out in probably an hour and a half. That's my guess as to when the Chiefs will be on the clock if they do not trade. So we're going to get some answers real soon. I'm excited. All right, guys, I'm Farzin Vousoughian. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you all later tonight. Peace out.